If you're over 60 and you've noticed your skin doesn't bounce back the way it used to, more lines around the eyes, less brightness, skin that feels thinner than it did even 5 years ago, you are not imagining it, and it's not just getting old. There are specific, measurable changes happening inside your skin right now, and there are specific nutrients that support the body's own ability to slow that down. I want to be upfront about something before we go further. Nothing in this video is going to erase wrinkles overnight, and if anyone tells you that, be skeptical. What I'm going to show you is what's actually happening to skin after 60, which nutrients are backed by real research for supporting skin structure, where to get them from food, and the mistakes that quietly cancel out all the effort people put into their skincare routine. Let's get into it. Skin aging isn't one event. It's 3 separate biological processes running at the same time, and understanding each one is the only way to know what to actually do about it. Change number 1. Collagen production slows down. Collagen is a structural protein that gives skin its firmness. Think of it as a scaffolding underneath the surface. When it's abundant, skin sits tight against that frame. When production drops, the frame sags a little and the surface follows. Collagen synthesis declines gradually starting in a person's 20s, but the drop becomes much more noticeable after 60, when the body's overall protein turnover slows and the skin's ability to repair itself after everyday stress, sun exposure, dryness, minor irritation, takes longer to catch up. The result isn't just wrinkles. It's a general loss of bounce, where skin that used to spring back when pressed now takes a moment to settle. Change number 2. Elastin breaks down and isn't replaced. Elastin is collagen's less famous partner. Where collagen provides structure, elastin provides stretch. It's what lets your skin return place after you smile, squint, or frown. Unlike collagen, the body makes very little new elastin in adulthood. The elastin fibers you have are mostly the ones you can keep, and decades of sun exposure, movement, and normal wear gradually fray them. This is why expression lines that were barely visible at 40, the ones that only showed up when you smiled, can become visible even at rest by your 60s and 70s. It's not new damage happening overnight. It's cumulative wear on fibers that were never going to be fully replaced. Change number 3. Cell turnover slows down. Skin is constantly shedding old cells and replacing them with new ones from below. In your 20s, that full cycle takes around 3 to 4 weeks. By your 60s and beyond, it can take twice as long or more. Old, flattened cells sit on the surface longer, which is a big part why skin can look duller and feel rougher, even before you factor in wrinkles at all. Slower turnover also means the skin barrier, the outermost layer that locks in moisture, repairs itself more slowly after any damage, which is part why skin often gets dry with age, independent of how much water someone drinks or how much moisturizer they apply. Put these 3 together: less new collagen, worn elastin that isn't replaced, and slower cell renewal, and you get the visible pattern most people associate with aging skin. Thinner-looking skin, more visible lines, less even tone, and a duller surface. Here's the part that matters for what we're about to cover. Every one of these 3 processes depends on nutrients the body needs to actually carry them out. Collagen production requires specific building blocks. Cell turnover and repair depend on nutrients that protect new cells while they're forming. This is why what you eat is not a side note to skincare. It's arguably the more important half of it, because it's addressing the raw materials, not just the surface. If you're taking notes, drop a comment with which of these 3, collagen, elastin, or cell turnover, you've noticed the most in your own skin. It helps me know what to cover in more depth in future videos. Nutrient number 1, vitamin C. Vitamin C isn't just an antioxidant. It's a required cofactor for collagen synthesis. That means the enzymes your body uses to actually assemble collagen molecules cannot function properly without it. This isn't a helps a little relationship. It's closer to a hard dependency. Without enough vitamin C, the body can have all the amino acid building blocks it needs and still not assemble them into stable collagen correctly. On top of that structural role, vitamin C is a genuine antioxidant, meaning it helps neutralize free radicals, unstable molecules generated by sun exposure, pollution, and ordinary metabolism that damage skin cells and accelerate breakdown of existing collagen and elastin. The practical issue for people over 60 is twofold. First, dietary intake often drops with age simply because appetite and variety in the diet decrease. Second, vitamin C is water-soluble, meaning the body doesn't store much of it. What you don't use, you lose within about a day. That means consistency matters more than any single high dose. Good food sources. Red bell peppers, higher vitamin C per serving than most citrus. Oranges, strawberries, kiwi, and guava, which is often overlooked but is one of the richest natural sources available. The mistake people make. Treating vitamin C as when I remember, food rather than something in the diet daily. Because it isn't stored, a big glass of orange juice on Monday does very little for Thursday. Nutrient number 2, vitamin E. Vitamin E's main role for skin is as a fat-soluble antioxidant that gets incorporated directly into skin cell membranes, where it helps protect those cells from oxidative damage from the inside out, different from vitamin C, which works more in the watery parts of the skin. The two actually work together and regenerate each other, which is part of why they're often discussed as a pair. Vitamin E also supports the skin's barrier function, the outer layer responsible for keeping moisture in and irritants out. When that barrier is well supported, skin holds onto hydration better and tend to feel less tight or rough. Good food sources: almonds, sunflower seeds, avocado, and extra virgin olive oil. A small handful of almonds or sunflower seeds most days covers a meaningful portion of daily needs. One important caution: vitamin E is fat-soluble, which means, unlike vitamin C, it can build up in the body. High-dose supplements, well beyond what you get from food, have been linked in some studies to increase bleeding risk, especially for people on blood thinners. Food sources don't carry this risk. If you're considering a supplement rather than food, that's a conversation to have with your doctor, not a decision to make from a video. Nutrient number 3, vitamin A. Vitamin A is central to cell turnover, the process we talk about slowing down after 60. It supports the normal, healthy replacement of skin cells and plays a role in collagen production as well, which is why topical retinoids, vitamin A derivatives, are one of the most well-studied ingredients in dermatology for improving skin texture over time. Getting vitamin A through food works differently depending on the source. Animal sources like liver provide preformed vitamin A directly. Plant sources like carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, and pumpkin provide beta-carotene, which the body converts to vitamin A as needed, a natural safety valve that makes it very hard to overdo vitamin A from plants alone. Good food sources: carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, and pumpkin for beta-carotene, liver in moderation for preformed vitamin A. Important caution: this is the one nutrient on this list where more is not automatically better. Preformed vitamin A from animal sources or high-dose supplements can build up to harmful levels over time, particularly affecting bone health and liver function in older adults. This is a real reason to prefer food sources, especially plant-based beta-carotene, over supplements for this particular nutrient, and to talk to a doctor before adding any vitamin A supplement. Nutrient number 4, omega-3 fatty acids. This one doesn't show up in every skin and aging discussion, but it should. Omega-3s, found in fatty fish, walnuts, chia seeds, and flaxseed, help maintain the skin's lipid barrier and have been studied for their role in reducing the kind of low-grade inflammation that can accelerate visible aging. Where vitamins A, C, and E are about building and protecting structure, omega-3s are more about keeping the skin's moisture barrier intact, which is a common weak point after 60, since natural oil production also declines with age. Good food sources: salmon, sardines, walnuts, chia seeds, flaxseed. Here's the honest part of this video. The single biggest reason people don't see changes isn't that these nutrients don't work. It's timeline mismatch. Skin cells take 3 to 8 weeks to fully turn over, even in younger people, and longer after 60. Collagen remodeling happens over months, not days. Someone who eats well for 2 weeks doesn't see a dramatic change, and quits has actually stopped right around the point where the body was just getting started. The second reason is inconsistency, not lack of effort. Eating vitamin C-rich foods 3 days a week and skipping the rest doesn't give the body what it needs to actually run these processes continuously, especially for a nutrient like vitamin C that isn't stored. The third reason, and this one surprises people, is treating this as separate from the rest of health. Skin is downstream of sleep, hydration, sun protection, and overall diet. No amount of any single nutrient will outrun consistent, unprotected sun exposure. For example, these vitamins support the process. They don't override everything else. If you want to actually apply everything we just covered, here are 3 habits in order of priority. First, build one vitamin C-rich food into your day, every day. A small red pepper, a handful of strawberries, or a kiwi with breakfast. Because it isn't stored, daily consistency matters more than quantity. Second, add a source of vitamin E and healthy fat together. A small handful of almonds or a drizzle of olive oil on a salad covers this easily, and pairing it with other foods actually helps your body absorb it, since vitamin E is fat-soluble. Third, lean on plant-based vitamin A rather than high-dose supplements. Carrots, sweet potatoes, and spinach a few times a week is a safer, steadier approach than any pill claiming a megadose, especially given how this particular vitamin can build up in the body over time. None of this requires an expensive routine. It requires consistency, and it requires patience with a timeline that's measured in weeks and months rather than days. If this was useful, subscribe for more videos breaking down the actual science behind aging well, not the version that promises miracles, the version that tells you what's true. And if you want the next video to cover something specific, hydration, sun protection, or how sleep affects skin repair, leave it in the comments. I read all of them.